And now we're rolling.
You want some ASMR?
What the? It's a little bit of spoiler for what's happening in this episode. You can't tell what it is. It looks nothing like the traditional Holy Bible.
Because it's painted. Because I went to my friend's, youth group, kind of.
And you painted your Bible.
Yeah, they painted Bibles. I was a day late to paint it the day that they did it, so I painted it the morning that I came there.
So you made your sacred text even more personal to you.
Yes. This is my Holy Bible.
It's only a wee bit of spoiler for what we're talking about. We're not talking about the Holy Bible because that is heavy.
Heaven.
I mean, there's the book of Genesis, which is one thing, the whole Christian creation.
4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
The one that I find fascinating is the book of Enoch, which I think we could get into at some point. Yeah. Enoch is a fascinating character. He is the grandson of Noah of the Ark. Just, I think, I might be wrong on this. I think he's 7 generations after Adam, of Adam and Eve. Like he's the great grandson of Adam.
That's not too far.
No. But the weird thing is in the Bible, those beings, Adam lived like 800 years or something crazy like that. I know, dude. I know it gets heavy. I'm telling you. But we're not talking about that right now.
Yeah, 800 years.
But God is the one that put Adam there, and him and Eve figured out how to procreate. Because the apple or something. That's weird, right? What does that mean?
Was it the apple?
Well, they got curious after the apple. They got modesty after the apple. Eden was, everybody's naked, we're good. No big deal.
Yeah, Garden of Eden.
And then the snake introduced Eve to the apple. And things got twisted.
Eve should have never took that apple.
Nope. But then we wouldn't be here. Because Adam and Eve got curious after the apple. And then they lived hundreds of years and just produced humans. Or something. That's quite the opening. You're Phoenix, I'm Will, and we're here to bring on the questions. Links?
Anchor.com/BOTQS.
It's that simple to find where you can listen to everything. Spotify, Apple, Spreaker. What are the other ones? iHeartRadio, Pandora. We're always get confused with this part. Anyway, it's fine. Generally.
Also, watch us. And you can see my gorgeous Bible.
There it is.
It's got Hebrews 12:2.
What does that mean to you?
I forget.
Why did you put it on there?
Because I think all of them put that on there.
Your friends who painted their Bibles.
No, all of the people who were there and painted their Bibles.
Okay.
Every single person, I think, put that.
So you used a paintbrush to paint those words on there?
No, this was a Sharpie.
Okay.
Same thing with the front.
There was no way I could use a paintbrush to write that well.
No. The only paint I could use to write well would be paint markers.
Yeah, sure. I guess. But that's your sacred text.
Right.
I'll talk about my sacred text when we get to that part.
Okay.
It's different. It's not that. But it means something to me. and I'll tell you who's it's and what's it's about it. But, Miss Phoenix, what question are we bringing in this episode?
What is bibliomancy?
I know, it took a turn, didn't it? We're talking about religion stuff and all these passages from Jan Christian sacred text. And then we introduce mysticism or something in there. Ta-da!
Yay!
The phenomenon of bibliomancy, broadly defined as the use of books, most frequently sacred or canonical texts, for the purposes of divination, represents a significant intersection of literacy, ritual, and the human drive to discern the unknown. The term itself is a linguistic composite derived from the Greek biblion, denoting a paper, scroll, or book, originally a diminutive of biblios, referencing Egyptian papyrus, and mantia, signifying divination, oracles, or a state of being touched by divine madness. While the Oxford English Dictionary first recorded the term bibliomancy in 1753 via Chambers' Cyclopedia, the practice of utilizing the written word as a mantic tool predates this nomenclature by several millennia. It exists as a global tradition appearing across virtually every culture that has elevated a specific body of text to the status of truth or divine revelation. Which, I think, I don't remember what the subject was that we talked about, but no, I think it was witchcraft. Maybe it was witchcraft. Anyway, they use the sacred texts, the Bibles, Christian Bibles, to divine your fortune, essentially, your next path, prophecy. But isn't that witchcraft? Wasn't that the thing that they got witches for? Was you don't question the one true God? But people use the Bible, who said not to use the Bible, for this thing, to do that thing. Confused yet?
Yeah,
Okay, good. Want to read the next part?
I guess. To engage in a rigorous study of bibliomancy, one must first
Delineate.
from its terminological relatives, which are often conflated in vernacular
Yeah.
usage. Bibliomancy acts as an umbrella term, yet historical and technical contexts necessitate the distinction of
Stickomancy?
stichomancy, rhapsodomancy, libromancy, and chartomancy. It's a lot of mancies.
Right. And I wonder, you keep reading, I want to find out what the mancy means.
Man Nancy.
Man Nancy. Is it, what are you going to name your son?
Mancy, come
Mancy.
here. Stichomancy, derived from the Greek stikos, row, line, or verse, refers specifically to divination of bylines of verse selected at hazard from any book, whereas bibliomancy historically emphasized the use of sacred texts, particularly the Bible. Rhapsodomancy is a further specialization, utilizing verses from epic poems, such as those by Homer or Hesiod, for prognostic purposes. Libromancy is often used synonymously with stichomancy, but tends to lean towards secular books, while chartomancy, from the Latin charta, expands the practice to include official papers, letters, musical scores, and manuscripts.
So mancy, you could probably, and it should have been this obvious to us, mancy means divination by means of. So necromancy, divination by communicating with the dead. Cartomancy, divination using playing cards. Tasseomancy, divination by reading tea leaves. Pyromancy, fire magic, often seen as seeing the future in flames. That's fun. Aeromancy, magic or divination involving air or wind. Fascinating.
Would cartomancy be like tarot?
Probably, but I wonder if it means playing cards.
Like,
but
king,
is
ace.
taromancy its own thing?
Tarot cards.
Taromancy is the practice of divination using tarot cards. Cartomancy is divination using cards.
Playing cards.
I guess. Why are we doing that? Cartomancy is the practice of fortune telling or divination using a deck of cards. Most commonly, a standard 52 card playing deck, though it can also involve tarot or other decks. Practitioners called cartomancers interpret card meanings to gain insight into past, present, or future situations, using the suits hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades. And numbers and faces represent themes like love, money, challenges, or creativity. Now I'm even more fascinated. But how much weight could you put on that? Like shuffling cards. So, are we looking into your past to determine your future?
Pick a card, any card.
But tarot is not like that. Tarot, you take.
Is this your card?
No, that's a prestidigitation. It's regular hand magic, sleight of hand.
That's up close magic.
Right. But cartomancy, you pull the first one off and you get like the 8 of diamonds. Oh, 8 of diamonds.
You're gonna eat many diamonds in your life. Yeah, you ate.
Eat of diamonds. The broader conceptual ancestor of these practices is the Roman sortus, or sorts, a term meaning lots or fates. Sorts refer to any method of drawing lots, whether they were wooden tablets, inscribed with verses or counters thrown into an urn filled with water, known as satella. As literacy became more widespread and certain texts gained canonical authority, the physical drawing of lots was gradually supplanted by the random opening of a codex. Origins of bibliomancy?
I was right. I was like, oh, wait.
I think by the end of this, bibliomancy is going to lose its word structure to us. Bibliomancy. The
origins of bibliomancy are deeply embedded in the classical world's transition from oral prophecy to textual authority. In ancient Italy, temples such as those at Praeneste and Carre utilized tablets inscribed with letters or phrases, which were drawn by children to provide oracular responses. This practice of sorts eventually evolved into rhapsodomancy, and as the works of illustrious poets were believed to be inspired by the muses and thus capable of revealing divine art. Intent.
The sorts, Homerarchy, or Homeric lots, involve the random selection of a line from the Iliad or Odyssey. Historical accounts suggest that these verses were viewed as profound premonitions. Socrates is reported to have dreamt of a specific verse from the Iliad that he interpreted as a prediction of his own execution day. Before the Battle of Pharsalus in 48 BCE, Brutus allegedly encountered a Homeric verse that foretold the defeat of Pompey. The practice was even utilized by Roman emperors. Marcus Opilius Macrinus reportedly drew a Homeric verse that predicted the brevity of his reign.
By the 2nd century CE, the works of Virgil, specifically the Aeneid,
sounds good,
became the preeminent source for bibliomancy in the Roman world, a practice known as sorts Virgilianae.
Yep.
This transition was influenced by the growing perception of Virgil not merely as a poet, but as a vates, a prophet or diviner. The sorts Virgilianae. What did I say?
Virgilianae
Virgilianae were consulted by the highest
echelons
of Roman society. Hadrian, while seeking to understand his standing with the Emperor Trajan, drew a passage from the Aeneid that predicted his adoption and subsequent rise to the throne. Alexander Servus similarly drew a passage that reinforced his destiny to rule the world.
So I wonder, it seems, I don't know, I'm still definitely a skeptic about the whole idea myself. But if they put so much weight into these predictions, then are they not self-fulfilling their prophecy? They're like, oh, it told me that I should rule, so that means I should put all my energies into trying to become the ruler. Greet all the people, pet all the babies.
Pet?
I did that on purpose. Be a person of the people, be a ruler of the people, and then people will want you to rule. So did they see these passages? If they saw a passage that said, well, you're probably going to, somehow they interpreted it as they're going to die in a dozen years. So would they then count the moons until those dozen years and then be like, I don't want to die, but everything says I should die, and die anyway? In whatever dumb way. Fall off a horse and hit your head on a rock. I'm celebrating. I've made it this far. I'm going to celebrate. Get into a bar fight and get a concussion and then don't recover? I don't know. It's weird. Is it a self-fulfilling prophecy? Because they read the passage? And if they didn't read the passage, would they have still gone down the same path in life? There's a lot of what ifs. All right. The enduring influence of the sorts Virgilianae extended well into the Renaissance. One of the most famous documented instances involved King Charles I of England. While visiting a library in Oxford with Viscount Falkland, the king was persuaded to consult Virgil and chanced upon the curse of Dido, which predicted a life of war and tragic, unburied fate. Falkland attempted to alleviate the king's distress, took his own lot, but drew a passage concerning the untimely death of a youth, which was later interpreted as a premonition of his own death at the Battle of Newbury. Who's interpreting this stuff? How can we... Virgil? Makes him so special. You read this passage and you're like, oh man, what is it? What happened? You know what this means, don't you?
You ate a lot of diamonds in your past life. In the Jewish context, bibliomancy emerged as a response to the perceived cessation of direct prophecy after the era of Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi.
Mm-hmm.
As the Torah gained canonical status during the Hellenistic period, it was increasingly viewed as a holy book, Biblios Hagia, whose physical presence and random consultation could reveal the divine will. The Bat-Kol, literally the quote, daughter of a voice, was considered a secondary form of divine communication after the Holy Spirit departed from Israel. This heavenly voice was often perceived through coincidences or random auditory stimuli. A specific form of bibliomancy related to this was
Cladonomancy?
Cladonomancy, practiced between the 3rd and 6th centuries CE.
Common Era.
Mm-hmm. Sages would ask school children to recite the verse they were currently studying, interpreting the result as a direct message from heaven. For instance, if a child recited a verse concerning judgment, it might be taken as a warning for a traveler or a sick individual.
That's cladonomancy is an ancient form of divination that involves interpreting chance occurrences, particularly fortuitously overheard words, phrases, or events as divine messages or omens. So you go into a classroom, catechism perhaps, and you just have one of the kids read a random passage.
Just like,
Read one. Go ahead.
the light of Israel will become a fire, their Holy One a flame. In a single day will burn and consume his thorns and his briars. The splendor of his forests and fertile fields it will completely destroy, as when a sick person wastes away, and the remaining trees of his forest will be so few that a child could write them down.
How would you interpret that?
I have no clue.
It's because you are not a diviner.
I
You don't practice the Virgiline.
Someone's gonna get a fever.
Hey, that's not bad. You might be onto something.
Like, it says sick person and flames. I mean, when you have a fever, you have a high temperature usually.
'Tis the season for fevers and sickness.
Yeah.
There's a lot about Israel in that passage, though.
It's Isaiah 10:17.
But we didn't ask a question. We weren't trying to interpret something specific. So I don't know if that makes a difference. Like if we asked a question. Here we go. Let's just do it. Ask a question. Any question you can think of. Let's see. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know how personal we should make this, how business-like we should make this.
Does the multiverse exist?
Does the multiverse exist? That's heavy. So feel it out. Close your eyes. No, focus. Focus. Start from the front or the back. Start flipping. Stop when you feel it.
I can't do this with your narrating.
It's not narration. It's instructing. Was that the spot? Oh, hold on. Just close your eyes. Run your hand over the text. Take your finger. Just one finger. Where do you want it to stop? First thing you do is read the word that your finger falls on.
Oh, these are small words. There's a couple.
Okay, what do you got?
I'll just read this whole 14.
Okay.
And these are but the outer fringe of his works. How faint the whisper we hear of him. Who then can understand the thunder of his power?
Did you get chills? Did you just get chills?
No, but
you asked if the multiverse exists.
That's crazy.
Right? The thunder of his power? Read it again. Does the multiverse exist?
And these are but the outer fringe of his works. How faint the whisper we hear of him. Who then can understand the thunder of his power?
Sounds like yes to me.
Did we just do that?
Yeah, we did. But that's a weird interpretation.
I mean,
but whispers, like we hear about the multiverse in stories that are told here, just fictional stories that are told here. That's how I hear it. That's how we talk about the multiverse. Did you get chills?
I mean, it says the outer fringe of his works.
Exactly. What does that mean to you?
Like, it's the outer part of what he's created.
Right.
I think we just did
All right. We'll keep going. Well, we might not even get through all the notes because we'll do that a couple more times, I think. But I think that's the very simplified version of bibliomancy.
It's starting to make sense to me.
Evidence from the Second Temple period, specifically in 1 Maccabees 348 and 2 Maccabees 823, shows the Jewish community using the Torah scroll as a lot oracle. In the face of overwhelming military odds, the Maccabean army fasted and, quote, spread open the book of the law to inquire into matters for which the Gentiles would have consulted their idols. This practice signaled the evolution of Judaism into a quote, religion of the book, where the physical text functions similarly to the ancient Urim and Thummim, sacred dice used to determine yes or no answers from God. So they threw dice also. Like, 5 and 6.
Don't make it be 6, make it be 7.
The total is 7. Can't get a 6 and a 7 out of 2 dice.
Unless you have a D67. Or a D100.
That's a lot. It would just roll. It would almost roll like a ball.
But there's just enough straightness to make it on one side.
Eventually. Early Christianity.
It took me back to the beginning. Early Christianity inherited the bibliomantic traditions of the Roman world, substituting the Bible and the Psalter for pagan epics. So the Jews were pagan.
Everybody was pagan. Everybody still is pagan.
But
TBH.
But the Christians don't want to think about that.
No.
It's okay, we're loud and proud pagan Christians.
Loud and proud. What color is that flag?
I don't know. I don't know why I'm associating it with blue, because I associate pagans with like winter, because I think of Vikings.
Blue though.
Yeah.
I think green. Greens and browns, like earth colors. But I guess blue is sky color.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blue, green, and brown.
That's the color of the flag.
Yeah.
The pagan flag.
It's a little child's coloring of the sky, the ground.
And trees.
Trees. This practice, often termed sortes bibliae, or sortes or sorts.
Yeah, sorts.
Sanctorum, lots of the saints, became a pivotal tool for both personal conversion, and into institutional governance. I feel like I keep adding a lot of T's when I don't need to.
Yep. Turn your brightness up on your phone, you can see it.
Well, I can see it. The most renowned instance of Christian bibliomancy is found in the Confessions of St. Augustine. During a moment of profound spiritual crisis in a garden at Milan, Augustine heard a voice like a child chanting, Tolle Leger? Tolle Leger. That was in quotes. Take up and read, take up and read. He interpreted this as a divine command to open the Bible and read the first passage his eyes fell upon. he opened to Romans 13, chapter 13 through 14 verses, which exhorted him to quote, put on the Lord Jesus Christ, unquote, providing the clarity needed for his conversation. Paradoxically, in his later life as a bishop, Augustine condemned the practice of using gospels for divination, though he famously noted that it was still preferable to the, quote, consultation of demons.
We don't consult demons, do we? See, he heard chanting. So maybe he heard some kind of weird echo, or there was multiple things going on that he interpreted as to tolle lege, tolle lege.
I mean, he said like a child.
Right.
Could be young Jesus.
Maybe. I don't know. But all of this, their auditory divination like this, audiomancy, rhapsodomancy. Is that what it is?
I think so.
But it makes me think of the spirit boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just have all these random noises, and you ask a question, and they're like, you hear Fred out of nowhere, and the ghost name's Fred.
Yeah.
Figured it out. Fred, what do you want?
You.
We gotta go.
Get out! Make a salt circle.
Throughout the Middle Ages, bibliomancy was utilized in the consecration of bishops and the election of church officials. In the Gallican Church, children were often employed to draw slips of paper containing biblical text to decide between candidates for high office. However, the procedure was fraught with tension. At the consecration of Athanasius, the presiding prelate accidentally opened the Gospels to a passage concerning, quote, the devil and his angels, causing another bishop to cleverly turn the page to a more favorable verse. See? Now we're introducing corruption.
I don't like corruption.
Nope.
We have some corruption today.
Do we?
Yeah.
Go on. What's corrupted?
It's a bit political.
Oh, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a constant mess. There's a brand new mess of political stuff regularly.
It's definitely happening right now, too.
Mm-hmm.
America! Yay!
America's 250 today. Or not, well, this year.
Wow! We have had this country for 250 years. And the state.
You ready to move?
I guess.
No. Not reading. Move out of the country?
No.
You want to find a different country that's older?
No. Unless you want to, go to...
Merry old England.
No, Mesopotamia.
Whoa. That's the oldest one. They've got all the experience with being.
Yeah. It's something crescent.
Fertile.
Fertile Crescent.
Mm-hmm. That place.
Or we can go to Egypt. Egypt's pretty
hot.
old too.
Well, it's probably hot there too.
Definitely. By the
Carolingian.
You want to name your dogs by that name?
Carolus Rex. He was a Scandinavian ruler. He was put there by God, as he said.
Right. By the Carolingian era and into the later Middle Ages, the Sortes Sanctorum became more formalized and ritualized. These practices often required a period of 3 days of fasting and prayer, the recitation of specific psalms, or the attendance of several masses, and the receipt of communion before communion, and before casting dice or opening the Bible on an altar.
Well, there's a lot going on there.
A lot of rules.
So, don't eat for some days. Pray for a while. Gather the people.
And you cannot roll your dice until we have everyone. Like, you can't go on without us. These elaborate rituals served a dual purpose. They were believed to ensure that God was truly listening, and they provided the practitioner with, quote, plausible deniability against accusations of witchcraft or pagan divination. If one had attended Mass and prayed before opening the book, the result could be framed as a, quote, Christian act rather than a demonic one.
So, since we didn't fast for 3 days, we didn't gather masses, we didn't pray, we didn't have communion before you did that practice of bibliomancy right there, we just practice a demonic divination as opposed to a Christian divination.
Well, this is the early CE.
Oh, so it's different now. Make up different rules.
We have more lenient rules. They were very, very strict back then.
Why? How does it matter? When does it change? Like, well, that's a weird practice. We're not going to do that anymore. But we're still going to get the same result.
I don't know. When people don't either have one, time, or two, resources. We're in the modern ages. He's got to make some decisions if he wants us to follow him.
But in the modern time, everything is, we got to do it right now. We do it in the moment. Back then, they took days to decide the moment, to come upon the moment, to do the thing. We have all these rituals. Well, now we're just like, boop, 24-hour news cycle. We know everything all the time. Before, it was like, we're going to have to wait a while. 3 days. I'm thinking 3 days.
I'm thinking 6 or 7 days.
Well, that's different.
That's
Fasting.
probably like 3 business days.
Now we want everything immediately delivered to us. That's why there's Amazon warehouses everywhere. And everybody can be an Amazon delivery driver.
You know what? I probably wouldn't mind it.
Being an Amazon delivery driver?
Getting to drive everywhere and just drop off a package.
At 10:34 p.m.? Like we got one delivered the other night? Like, oh, there's a package out there. What do you mean there was a package out there? I just got home. It's 9:30 p.m. You put a package out there. I don't know. Go find out. All right.
What's the package?
Something your sister ordered.
Mm.
And it was, since we have the camera out there, it was just a random person who dropped it off. So it's just somebody working for Amazon delivery.
I bet she had Prime.
Yeah.
Deliver same day.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the same day. It was a couple of days. But we wanted it the same day. See, everything's so fast. We can't wait for this divination. We want to know what happens tomorrow now. We don't want to know what happens tomorrow 3 days from now. Then we already knew what happened tomorrow 2 days before that. Timey-wimey. A specialized subset of medieval bibliomancy was the Mantic alphabet, a divinatory guide found in manuscripts across Western Europe from the 12th to the 16th centuries. These texts were preserved in Latin, French, English, German, and Welsh, indicating their widespread popularity. To utilize a mantic alphabet, a reader would typically open a second book, most often a psalter, at random and observe the first letter of the first word on the page. A psalter is a book of the Book of Psalms used for liturgical and devotional purposes in Judaism and Christianity, often containing psalms arranged for chanting or singing, sometimes with musical settings and prayers. They would then refer to the mantic alphabet key to find the corresponding prediction. Below is the standard royal alphabet key, which is the most well-preserved version of this tradition from the 12th to 15th centuries. There's a few letters missing from this royal alphabet as compared to today's alphabet. Do you even catch which ones?
Hmm.
You want to go back and forth here?
Sure.
Okay.
A. Life or power.
B. Power among the people.
C. Death of a person, metaphoric or physical.
D. Disorder or death.
Has alliteration.
Yes, it is.
E. Exaltation or joy.
A little bit more alliteration. F. Renowned blood or family honor.
G. The murder or end of something.
H. Death or illness of a woman.
I. A good life.
K. Vain strife or pointless arguing.
L. Joy or honor.
M. Moderate fraud or deception.
A little bit more alliteration. N. A renewed visit or news.
O. Power of life.
P. Health in every respect.
Q. Life and surety.
R. To be restored or injured again.
S. Soundness of the soul. Ooh, alliteration.
T. Anger or substitution.
V. Death or endings.
X. Meeting with a parent or ancestor.
Y. Everything you want is declared.
Z. Money or an increase in wealth.
Did you catch the missing letters?
I noticed U and W.
J, U, and W. The mantic alphabet is a relic of medieval Latin, which used a 23-letter alphabet inherited from the Romans. In the Middle Ages, I and J were considered the same letter. The letter I served two purposes. It was a vowel, as in India, and a consonant, as in Y, as in the Y sound in hallelujah. The character J was originally just a decorative way to write an I, often used at the end of Roman numerals, like writing XIIJ instead of XII. It didn't become its own distinct letter until the 16th and 17th centuries. If you're using the key today and your word starts with J, you simply use the meaning for I. Similarly, V and U were the same letter. V was used for both the vowel sound U, as in double O or book or look, so it was look, whatever, and the consonant V. In medieval inscriptions, the letter was usually written as a sharp V. In handwritten manuscripts, it often looked like a rounded U. They weren't seen as different letters, they were just different fonts for the same thing. If your word or name starts with U, you look up the meaning for V. The letter W is literally a double U or double V. It was created by medieval scribes who needed a way to represent a specific sound in Germanic languages that Latin didn't have. They literally just wrote two V's next to each other, VV. Since it wasn't a standard part of the Latin alphabet used in religious texts, like the psalters used for this divination, it was omitted.
Take non-creativeness to another level.
Mm-hmm. So it's weird. They would ask the question, open a book, and then they would refer to another book and find the first letter of the first word on that page to determine what's what. All right, you want to practice it real quick? To utilize the mantic alphabet, a reader would typically open a second book, most often a psalter, at random, and observe the first letter of the first word on the page. Psalter is a book of the Book of Psalms, used for liturgical and devotional purposes in Judaism. They would then refer to the mantic alphabet key to find the corresponding prediction. What do you want to predict? Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I don't even know who's going to be in it.
Eagles will be in the Super Bowl.
Will the Eagles be in the Super Bowl? So flip to a page and grab the first letter on that page. Either the left page or the right page, it doesn't matter. First letter, you're going to go on the left page. Right there. Next to that big old 31. What do you got?
What do we want? Up here or here?
In the body of the text. So T. Anger or substitution. All ish. I don't think the Eagles are going to be in it.
I don't know.
Wow.
I hope they're not substituted for the Steelers.
Wow. That would actually be their name. They practice what they are. Steel. No, they're actually S-T-E-E-L.
So they're metal people.
That's
robots.
Kind of what it is, yeah.
They're robots.
That was a nice prediction. We'll see. Anger or substitution. Yikes. Or if they're in it, they're not going to have their starting people or whatever. Football's weird.
Crazy how this is all working out.
We're interpreting it in a very specific way. We could try to predict something entirely different. And it would, if we flip to the same page, we could interpret it a completely different way. It's like trying to do horoscopes with your zodiac signs.
I don't really get that much. I don't get horoscopes. I don't know what rising I am or moon, or I just know Aquarius.
I think you're rising Aquarius because you are born, your birthday is January 23rd. And so you are the beginning of the Aquarians.
So what would be like?
I think. I could be wrong on that.
What's the other ones? Like,
so if you're halfway, I'm guessing. I'm totally guessing. I never looked it up. If you're beyond the halfway point of said zodiac, you would be rising in the next one. So my birthday is November 19th, so I'm a rising Sagittarius. Scorpio, but rising Sagittarius.
So
I think. I could be totally wrong on that.
So would I be a rising? What's after Aquarius?
No, you wouldn't be. You're the beginning of Aquarius. Because I think the transition is like the 21st or 22nd. We're not talking about that. We got to not talk about that.
The brevity of these texts allowed them to be easily duplicated and shared, making them a popular form of divination that sat on the boundary of official religious practice and folk magic. By the 16th century, increasing religious censorship and changing attitudes toward the supernatural led to the decline of Mantic alphabets and the manuscript record.
Bibliomancy has an exceptionally rich history in Islamic culture, particularly in Iran, Turkey, and India. These traditions distinguish between istikhara, seeking guidance from God, and tafa'ul, the use of secular or poetic texts for augury. The term falnama covers two primary forms of bibliomancy used historically in the Islamic world. The first Quranic falnamas were sections of folios found at the end of the Quran manuscripts from the 14th to the 19th centuries. These used grid-based systems or tables that instructed the reader to count specific pages, lines, or words to find their answer. The second form, introduced in the 16th century during the reign of Shah Tahmasp in Safavid Iran, involved large-scale dedicated falnama manuscripts. These books were unusually large, up to 66 centimeters, 25.98 inches in height, and featured bold, finely executed paintings of religious figures, prophets, and mythical events.
Okay, I know I was not going to remember to look this up if I didn't do it now.
Okay.
So, your sun sign is based on your birthday. So, I'm an Aquarius sun.
Okay.
And you're a Scorpio sun.
Okay.
Your sun sign based on your birthday is the core personality, but for a fuller picture, you'd also find your moon sign, emotional self, and rising sign, ascendant, how you present yourself.
So it's not just the next one in line.
Yeah, I guess. Unless you present yourself that way.
I'm a Scorpio, but I'm a rising Aries. War upon the people.
Now, are you a scorpion or are you a Roman god? An ancient Roman god.
I'm a Scorpio, but I'm a rising Pisces. The fish?
Yeah,
I don't
fish.
know. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Are you a scorpion or are you Pisces?
Reese's Pieces?
If you want to be Reese's Pieces, be my guest. You'll get into Hershey for free.
Yay. And eaten alive.
Probably. Okay, where are we at?
The process of consulting an illustrative phenomena.
The process of consulting an illustrative phenomena was highly structured. First, the seeker performed ritual
Ablutions
with voodoo.
Voodoo.
Sounds like voodoo. Double V.
You're right.
Second, recitation of prayers or specific verses from the Quran to ensure divine favor were done. Third, the book was opened to a random page. Because the manuscripts were organized as spreads, the seeker would see a large painting on the right and an explanatory text on the left. Finally, the text categorized the fortune as favorable, unfavorable, or, quote, middling. Initial poor appearance, but eventual improvement.
All right, and we'll just run down each line here for these things. So if you come upon the image subject, the sun, that gets interpreted as highly favorable outcome. And your remedial action, if unfavorable, is practice gratitude and prayer.
If your image subject is Joseph in the well, the interpretation is adversity followed by triumph, and the remedial action is fortitude and patience.
Image of villain, interpretation, disastrous or unfavorable. Remedial action, pious acts, charity, or pilgrimage. Get yourself right, buddy.
Image, King Solomon's court. Interpretation, favorable, wisdom and success. Remedial action, acts of kindness to others.
These manuscripts were consulted for major decisions such as marriage, business ventures, or checking the welfare of absent relatives. Isn't it so crazy that you would go consult some person with a giant book and be like, hey man, thinking about becoming a farmer, but I'm not sure where I should sow my seeds. Should I go in the north field or the east field? So what do you think?
Pick a number, any number, and I'll turn to that page. I pick 4167.
But my problem is, if you know the sun is only a few pages in, you stop at the sun. And if you know the villain is about halfway through, you stop at the villain for specific outcomes. Like, you feeling particularly good that day, you stop on the sun and tell somebody they're going to be fortuitous. If you're having a bad day, you stop on the villain and say, you're not going to become a farmer. You're going to have to pay the church more taxes.
Well, that's why I'm saying the person who wants to become the farmer picks the page number for the priest, because if the priest already knows the book like the back of his own hand, then he should be able to know the page numbers really well, so he can just turn to page 67 and be like, you pick this number, this is your outcome.
But is that not it's not a random act then?
But the farmer doesn't know the book through and through. The priest does. And the farmer is picking the page number.
Still, I don't think it's very random. I don't know. Maybe?
It makes sense in my head. In modern Iran, the most popular form of bibliomancy is... I know Hafez.
Oh,
Faleh?
Hafez?
We're going to go with it. Faleh Hafez, utilizing the divan of the 14th century poet Hafez. Hafez is often referred to as Lasagna
Gabe.
It's the weirdest name ever.
Lasagna Gabe.
It's Garfield. If it was like Garfield's name was Gabe.
You can interpret that too.
The tongue of the unseen.
Delicious.
It's really lasagna. Because his poetry is believed to be divinely inspired. The ritual typically involves holding the book, making a wish or asking a question, and opening it to a random page. The first poem on the page is considered the answer to the seeker's query. This practice remains a central part of our Iranian cultural identity, particularly during the winter solstice festival of Yalda.
Yalda?
Yalda.
I guess it's the most simplest way to me, like this whole 3 days of fasting and gather the masses and do communion and pray upon the stuff and really focus on your question. I mean, yeah, it's ritualistic and it would feel more accomplished. It would feel like there's more weight because you waited for this prophetic body of text to tell you the thing that you want to hear or the thing that you need to hear. There's more weight to it if you wait for it. But if you just flip to it, does the multiverse exist? There's power out there. What?
Will the Eagles win?
Anger? Substitution. Yikes. Now, if we prayed upon it until the Super Bowl, or until the final players are announced, and let the hamster predict it, something, out of whatever they do.
Put a piece of paper out, yes, no, yes, no.
That's kind of what they do.
Or what's his name? It's not Charlie. Is it? I think it is Charlie. Yes, yes, no, no, with the pencils and it turns.
You talking about a creepypasta guy?
I don't know if it's creepypasta. It's a little game myth thing. It's like Bloody Mary. It's like a little game.
Oh, it probably is a creepypasta guy then.
Like a Candyman, Bloody Mary, but he doesn't need to be in the bathroom. He can you just need a piece of paper and pencils. 2 pencils at least.
All right, I'm going to read this next body of text, and we're going to skip a little bit and go to these steps to practice bibliomancy. We're going to not really do all these notes because I'll introduce my book then, okay?
All right.
The survival of bibliomancy across disparate cultures can be attributed to several structural and psychological factors. Technically, the practice bridges the gap between chaos, random selection, and order, canonical text. providing a sense of divine mediation. That makes sense in my head. So random selection, just throw some dice out there and flip to page 5-3. That's 6-7.
41.
And then read the third paragraph, the fifth line, or something pertaining to those numbers, or the eighth. Go down to the eighth thing because it's 5 and 3.
Just like this one.
Right.
That will be.
Or you can make it a little bit more divine than that and feel it out.
Like,
call upon your ancestors to bring you to the correct page. From a psychological perspective, bibliomancy relies on apophenia, the human tendency to perceive meaningful connections between unrelated things. This is often facilitated by synchronicity, the experience of two or more events that are apparently causal but lack an objective relationship, yet take on powerful meaning for the individual. Confirmation bias, the tendency for seekers to remember, quote, hits, passages that seem relevant, and ignore misses, passages that are nonsensical or irrelevant. Type 1 errors, the false detection of patterns and random noise, which is particularly prevalent in individuals with high traits of openness to experience. I think there's a lot of practice in that in spirit boxes. Like, oh, train? What? Got hit by a train? You just interpret a bunch of crap from one word.
Yeah, like brown.
Poop?
Did you die of diarrhea?
Did you die of dysentery? Bibliomancy also provides an equilibrium in times of uncertainty. By externalizing the decision-making process to a holy source, the seeker reduces the anxiety of free will. The ambiguity of resulting text actually enhances its power as it allows the seeker to project their own intuitive knowledge into the words. And we're going to skip down here to the practice of bibliomancy.
The practice of bibliomancy today varies from casual, quote, Bible dipping to structured rituals. For those seeking to perform this practice in a contemporary or historical context, the following steps represent a synthesis of common methodologies.
All right, we'll just go back and forth in the steps here. Step 1. The choice of book is paramount. Historically, this had to be a sacred text, but modern practitioners suggest using any book that holds personal truth or calls to the seeker. Popular choices include the Bible, the Quran, the I Ching, or even favorite works of fiction like Pride and Prejudice or the Harry Potter series. Some practitioners even use dictionaries or encyclopedias. That's kind of weird. Encyclopedias I can kind of see because there's more breadth in there. There's more context that you can glean from an encyclopedia, but a dictionary is like, situation. That's what am I supposed to do with that? Rock? Did you say rock?
I said wrong. That's the only word spelled wrong in the dictionary.
You're right. You know, there's a word that's spelled incorrect in the dictionary also.
It's incorrect.
Step 2. Go ahead. Go.
A successful bibliomantic session requires a focused question. This can be a simple, quote, yes-no question, or more open-ended inquiry, like, quote, what should I do next? Writing the question down can help maintain focus during the ritual.
Step 3. Find a quiet, clean space. Many traditions suggest grounding yourself by holding the book and breathing deeply to center your mind. Some practitioners incorporate incense or candles to set a sacred container for the work. Incense, so you want to go down to the incense types here?
Incense type, sandalwood, spiritual intention, protection, and spiritual cleansing, relevance to bibliomancy, used to clear the space of, quote, stagnant energy before asking.
Frankincense.
For Halloween.
What? For frankincense?
Frankenstein.
Well, frankincense is one of the incenses that the wise men gave to Jesus. Frankincense, myrrh, and gold. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Is that how it goes? Frankincense, the spiritual intention is grounding and enlightenment. The relevance is used to bridge the physical and spiritual realms.
Incense is lavender. The spiritual intention is peace and calming. And the relevance is ideal for reducing anxiety before interpreting an oracle.
The last incense is myrrh. The other one that they gave Jesus at his birth. It's for the spiritual intention is for healing and introspection. I don't know why you would give that to a baby, but whatever. The relevance of bibliomancy, though, helps the mind transition into a sacred state for deep reflection. I don't know. Baby's got to think about being born, man. Why are you here, Jesus?
Jesus doesn't know he's here yet. Jesus doesn't know.
Frankincense. Given frankincense to Jesus, could you say that they gave it to him to bridge the physical and the spiritual realms? And then myrrh was to help the mind transition into a sacred state for deep reflection?
Like,
you understand these gifts later, Jesus. They're timed gifts.
This will come to you later, son.
Meanwhile, he's crying because it's cold at night in the desert.
He did not cry.
Why?
He had the warmth of...
Because Joey was a carpenter and he still had his mouth shut?
Nope. He had the warmth of hay around him.
The warmth of hay.
Warm, itchy hay.
The donkeys.
The cats.
And some jacker little kid over there playing the drums. Jesus needs to sleep, man. He needs to meditate on his sacred duties. Pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. Get out of here.
He needs to learn how to walk on water.
Get out of here. Pa-rum-pa-pum-pum.
Step 4. There are several physical methods for selecting this passage.
Here we go.
1. The spine drop. Balance the book on its spine and let it fall open naturally to a page.
Some books don't do that. They just fall over. Yes. Paperbacks, traditionally. Yeah. If it's a hardback book, it might open basically to the middle. There you go. Perfect. Figured it out. It's the front. Everything we're interpreting is holy.
It is a compass.
Here we go. Do the next one.
The blind point. Close your eyes and move your finger in slow circles on the open page until you feel compelled to stop. The words directly under your finger are your answer.
Easy.
Holy.
Figured it out.
The first catch. Open the book and read the very first passage that catches your eye.
Not pointing to it. You're just randomly opening it and be like, boom, that's the one.
For the director of music, a Psalm of David, a song.
Well, I feel enlightened. I don't know about you.
Oh, I was so close to 6-7. Psalm 65.
See, now you're trying to force the prophecy.
I was so close. I just had to find that.
You can't force best friends. You can't force prophecies. Okay?
Well, I wasn't forcing it. I just wanted to find the number. And lastly, the integer selection. Use a random number generator or a dice to choose a shelf, then a book, then a page, and finally a word.
Yeah, so you can do the dice, or if you want greater than dice, multi-sided dice, more than 6, or multiple dice. I don't see why not.
A D67.
Ooh. It's the hottest sided. Step 5. Once the passage is selected, it must be analyzed in the context of the question. Practitioners are advised not to take the words at face value, but to view them symbolically. Ask if the words represent a warning, a hope, or a path forward. It is recommended to write the result down, as its relevance may only become apparent after several days. All right, ready for my book?
Yes.
I have this book. It means something to me. Okay, it's a novel of the X-Men. X-Men: The Legacy Quest trilogy by Steve Lyons, and it's special to me because, like show and tell here, I read it years and years ago. I think before, I don't know if your oldest sister was in the world yet, but it was definitely before the rest of you were in the world. And then it was just in a giant pile of books that got shifted whenever we moved or we rearranged the house, rooms different ways. And it was one book that ended up in a box that ended up in the camper outside storage. So it's
It's a little dusty.
It's dusty. It's slightly moldy because it was out in the elements and moisture kind of got to it and it set into it.
The camper was broken.
Yeah, it's a hardback book, so maybe that's why it was able to stand up to stuff. But we got a box of all these. I had a bunch of paperback books too, and those ones were extra ruined. So we had a box of books that were pretty much trash. I mean, it might be a little controversial to say that we threw them in the fire pit, but that's exactly what we did. But one of you, I think it was Alana, who picked up this book and said, "Oh, well, he probably doesn't want to burn this one," because you guys were just out there with the fire pit and it was fine. It's no big deal. And this one was going to go, but she saved it for me because she thought this was important to me for whatever reason. Like, yeah, okay. I read it and like, man, why this one though? But I kept it. And one time, this was probably before my birthday, before November, that I'm like, well, what's bibliomancy? Isn't, because I read about it before. Bibliomancy, you flip to a page, you feel it out, and you point at something. And I was curious how I could possibly get more. Well, I was curious about money. How could we get more income? I don't want to. I'm not going to go steal money somewhere. I want to work for it, but what can I work for to get it? And I found a passage in here. So I just flipped to a page, pointed it out, and it said something about being creative. Like, what? I could just create stuff? So it's probably means nothing, but it might mean something to me and go with the creativity.
We could create stuff with our 3D printer.
Right. And I started creating a bunch of silhouettes of cryptids, and I started an Etsy store to sell the digital files. It's goodsirwellsbazaar.etsy.com if you're interested. But that's reading that passage led me to like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go forward with that stuff. I feel like I need to. I've been working on that board game forever, and I just need to sit down and focus and finish the rules of the board game so we can make it a thing. Trying to be creative. I'm excited for the board game myself. But anyway, that's my text. X-Men: The Legacy Quest trilogy. The story is about the X-Men and somebody created a virus to kill the mutant gene, which would result in killing all the mutants. So they had to find an antidote or destroy the virus. That's what the story is about. So, what should we ask? Feel out this book. Something predictive, a yes or no. Should we go a little deeper? Let's go with something simple. Will we go to Outer Banks, North Carolina for vacation this year.
I like that.
Yeah? All right, let's flip from the back. I could close my eyes, but this one's fine. Should I go left or right?
That's your decision.
Feeling it out. I think this is right here. This is the spot. Coding. That's the word I put my finger on. But the whole sentence is, one of the girls was coming right at Cyclops, her short body elongated in midair, her clothes dissolving into a coating of white fur as her forehead receded and her eyes became scarlet. Interpret that to mean if we're going to Outer Banks or not. I only have one eye. I could be Cyclops.
And the rest of us could be she with scarlet
Mhm.
eyes, white fur,
Clothes dissolving, taking the clothes off to go to the beach.
swimsuits.
Sand's not quite white there.
I mean, it's
But we
white
put
at the
on-
boot. It's white, like it's whiter when you're first walking into that hot powdery sand.
We put on white sunscreen.
By this interpretation, our chances are looking.
Right? But it's a weird interpretation. All right. Will your high school band be successful in the upcoming season?
Well, the color guard.
Oh, okay. You want to go with the color guard? I have to start over now. Feel it out. Will the color guard be successful in their upcoming season? Yeah, we'll go with the whole season. Where's the answer? I'm flipping from the front. Right there? Okay. I'll go right there. What do you think it is? That could be. Why don't you look at the world? That could be. Could. I don't know.
I mean, since you look right at that could be, I think it means maybe.
Well, everything means maybe.
Well, like a leaning towards yes, maybe.
Well, that's fun. You could find a sacred text, and again, in this contemporary modern world that we're living in, you can find any text that means something to you. Harry Potter series. There's a lot of magic happening in the Harry Potter series, and you have to determine what book you're going to go to in that whole series.
Yeah.
You can grab the sacred text of the Holy Bible or any of your favorite religions, the Quran, the Torah. Name some other ones.
I don't know the names of other holy books, but I know the names of other religions.
All right. What?
Like Buddhism, Hinduism.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Go to the last couple of things here, the last couple of passages. Despite its historical and cultural prevalence, bibliomancy has frequently been a target of religious and secular criticism. Evangelical and Orthodox religious groups often condemn bibliomancy as a form of fortune-telling that violates the sanctity of the word. But that doesn't make any sense because Christians practice it. Hypocrites. They argue that God's word is meant to be studied intentionally and not understood in context, rather than being used as a, quote, charm or lot book. Furthermore, the, quote, gambler's fallacy and the, quote, clustering illusion are cited by critics to explain the perceived success of bibliomancy. The man who saw guidance for his future and opened to, quote, Judas hanged himself. Then, quote, go and do likewise. And finally, quote, what are you about to do? Do quickly. What you are about to do quickly, is a famous cautionary tale about the dangers of random selection without theological or logical discernment. See, right there, that person was in a dark place and he was looking for guidance. And that guidance says to rid yourself of this world, rid the world of yourself. That's dark.
Yeah.
So it can go down a dark path. But if you force a positive thing, like, could you interpret that as false or positive? Or not false or positive. Could you do positive or negative? Whatever we just read.
I think that's a bit negative because
No. If you anything that we read is what I'm asking. Like, you asked if there's a multiverse. Would you be sad if the passage that you went to just said no? You wanted it to be true, so you interpreted it as a positive answer, right? But if you're in this negative mindset, like, here we go. Should I go throw myself in front of a train? It's not there. Here? A little more. Where do you feel it? Which side do you feel it on?
Where do you feel it?
We're every bit as confused and disoriented as he was. The whole passage says, which was just as well, because Nightcrawler's teammates were every bit as confused and disoriented as he was. So what's that tell you? That I shouldn't throw myself in front of a train? Or I should? We're all confused. Looking for trains.
I think why are you saying like we're all confused? I think that's what like there's confusion.
So the Magic 8 Ball is like,
I don't know what to tell you, Buster.
I mean, it's just like a Magic 8 Ball. You can interpret it anywhere you want, right? Should I throw myself in front of a train? I don't, like, what are you? That passage is like, why? This?
What is this question? Where did you?
What is this?
Do you need therapy? Bibliomancy represents a remarkable survival of ancient mantic tradition into the digital and modern age. From the sorts of the Roman emperors to the Fale Hafaz of contemporary Tehran, the practice fulfills a primal human desire for external validation and divine guidance. It transforms the static, finished work of an author into a living, responsible dialogue with the reader. Whether one views bibliomancy as a superstitious aberration, the psychological tool for accessing the subconscious, or a legitimate spiritual practice, its presence across the sweep of human history highlights the profound power of the book, not just as a vessel of information, but as a getaway to the not just as a vessel of information, but as a getaway to the unseen. By treating the page as a mirror for the soul, bibliomancers continue to find, quote, heavenly voices in the ink and paper of their most cherished texts. So there you go. We did it. Now, are you going to go practice bibliomancy in private? You're going to go light a candle, sip some tea, focus on the text, focus on your question. Yeah, I'm going to cut open my tea bag and look at the leaves. No. There's no leaves in the tea that we get. It's just all burned ends of tea resin. So you're going to have to go outside and get some real leaves. Dandelion leaves. Dandelion. Basil tea is a thing. Go grab some basil from the garden. I don't think there's much out there right now. Probably not.
Is that? Are you going? Are you going to though? You gonna go practice divination in private?
Probably not.
Why?
Gotta get ready for my sleepover, man.
No, I don't mean today. Like, are you gonna think about it at some point and be like, "Huh, I need some guidance on this right now." So you're gonna go grab the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and flip it open, and suddenly you see the part about Tom Marvolo Riddle, and now you're even more confused because it says Riddle.
The Riddler.
The Riddler. You gonna do that? You gonna wear a morph suit that has question marks all over it?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you so many riddles that are actually just jokes.
Answer me these riddles 3.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
I don't know.
To get to the other side.
That's the incorrect answer. Goodbye. Well, that's fun. We learned about a bunch of Mancies.
Man Nancy's.
Were you gonna grab a deck of playing cards and learn what all the interpretations are? 2 of spades. Hold on. We need 2 people with shovels. Are we gonna bury a body? A joker? Why is there a joker?
Instead of burying the body, we're gonna dig up one.
That's a wild card. You can interpret it any way you want. What? You're gonna dig up a body? Grave robbing? Is that in your future if you
you're
get
using Uno
2 of
cards,
spades?
now that's a wild card.
Reverse? Oh no, I'm getting buried.
Here's my Uno deck, and here's my other deck. It's a red 3. Well, no. It's a red 6 and a 7 of hearts.
So what does that mean?
I love 6-7.
Nice. Yep. Good job. I'm hashtagging the truck out of this with 6-7.
7.
Question brought.
Question answered.